Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to the testing class. Yesterday I have shared one real-time interview that we were taking for our company, and we were hiring for a 7+ years experience testing guy, and the question that we asked to the candidate uh, are these. So we will be discussing like what he has explained and what is the correct way to explain those question to the interviewer. Okay, so this is all about the explanation of the that interview, like what we have asked him. And if you guys are giving interview and some interviewer ask you about these or ask you these type of question, then how you can answer. Maybe I could be right or wrong, but I can give you a way where you can at least explain the things. So let's get started. The first question is like introduction. The formal introduction that we asked him to explain about your roles and responsibilities, your project that you are working with, and what is your role as a QA in that project. And if you are working as a manual or automation QC, what you are doing in that. So he explained about himself, like this is where he is working, and this is all. These are the project that he or domain that he are or he was working. So after that, he start explaining about the framework that he is using. So when I asked him like which frameworks you are using, so he told me like I'm using a Maven framework. So this is not the way to answer the question. Maybe you are using a framework that is using Maven, but that is not a Maven framework. As we know, there are a couple of frameworks that is available in the market, but Maven is not the framework that we use in Selenium. We can answer like we are using data driven hybrid framework, keyword driven framework, or any BDD, or this is the design pattern, this is the language, and this is how we can explain the things. But if you start explaining your framework as Maven framework, first impression is the last impression. If you I mean if you are not correct at the starting of the interview, then it will give the negative impact that you haven't worked on any framework, or you have bookish knowledge and you do not know how to automate, how to work. Though he has written a couple of things in his resume, like I have worked on this framework, this language, JavaScript, VB script, Java, Python, and different types of framework, different types of tools and technology and all those things. But if you are unable to explain about your framework, that is a difficult thing for you. Next is, I asked him like, suppose I am opening a website. Let's consider the same website that we use for our demo purposes. So this is the website that I have created for practice purposes. Like if you want to use something like this, you can use that, and this is available to all. If you find any defect or anything, then you can ping me like this is not working or this is what you need to update it. You can consider as a this website as a demo project. You can work on that or automate anything you want. So suppose this is the page. What I ask him, if I am loading a page but my API in network tab is giving 200, 200, but data is not being loaded here, what are the steps that you are or you will be following as a QA? What are the action item that you will be following? So if somebody, or if I will get a website, then I will have some question. Why data is not being loaded? Is API is working fine? Is any dependent API is also indicated is there? Is DV connection is there? That's why data is not coming. Everything is I mean, whatever is coming in this API, that API is working as separately. So if you need to get this API, so suppose this is the API and need to check whether this API itself is working fine or not. So you can do right click on it and copy curl bash, and you can use Postman and import that. Click on import and import that particular API. You can, I mean, click on it, or you can check, verify. You can do each and everything that you can do with API. So this is how we can at least verify that the API is working fine, the data is not present on UI. So to mean to say there is some issue with the front end, then what I will do, I will be checking some logs. I will ask developer to give me the path where logs are getting generated. Now logs are saying data is coming in this but not picking, then we can do further thing like, I mean, correct data is coming or not. If data is coming correctly from DB or any other sources, then we can directly reach to front end developer that your data is not being populated, whereas the API is giving some response. I mean, this is how as a QA you can at least debug thing, and you can at least tell thing to the developer that the front end guy need to focus on this part rather than the back end developer. Next question is, FED is not getting loaded, the same how QA will debug different data sources where API can get the data. So I mean to say, like, what are the different data sources? Suppose you are working on an API, and this API, you can call it microservice. So this microservice has its own database. Whether it is picking the data from that microservices database, or it is this data is coming from another API. It means to say one API is calling, or one API is using the data from the another API. So something like this, or DB, or any I mean, flat system files or something like that. So at least you should have, I mean, if you don't know about your system architecture, I mean, it would be difficult you to understand what is going on. So, I mean, this is fine for 3 to 4 year, or I mean, below 3 or below 4 years experience. But for a 7 to 8 year experience, you need to understand your architecture. I mean, are you using monolithic architecture or microservice based architecture? And what are the components that you guys are using in your organization? I mean, this is how you can build knowledge. Right now, people are hiring for SDET. It means to say software development engineer. I mean, when I say development engineer, it means to say you are not only executing the test cases. This is not the task that we are doing. We need to, I mean, do something else. Like, we need to understand the architecture and find some critical thing in the project. Next is, I mean, need to open Amazon.in. So what we have asked him, open Amazon.in, let it load. So once it gets open, type anything like shirt. So when you type, you will get this auto complete box. So what we were asking, how you can get the list of these 10 or 11 article or item, and click on it or print the text of this. So he need to, or he has to give the X path of this. So to getting the X path, we can, I mean, first need to mouse over this, and yeah, so this is the block or div which will give us the thing. And shirt for man, and this is again okay, one div. So these are the div. It means to say, if I will be using something like div at the rate, and it is one, and how many divs it contains, 41, but I am concerned about a div that contains such this class, something like this, a div that contains this. So now it is giving me 10. So if I need to iterate each and everything, then I can get the X path. I mean, I will use this, and I will be writing something driver dot find elements by dot xpath and use this, and this is the list of web element. When I ask him what is the return type of this, then he was saying it will return the string. No, it will return list of web elements. So we need to import the list, then web element. So this, and then we can iterate it for each or anything that you want to use. Then web element dot get text. This is what you can use, and if you want to print as by so, you can print that part. So this is what we were expecting, but he was telling some different story altogether. So this is again one problem. This is, the question is simply how you will get the XPath of to get all those 10 or 11 element. So my question with you all is like, if you are facing challenges in writing XPath, I have created video. You can use that. That is, you can refer that. That is very simple video. You can use that video to get the XPath, how to write the XPath, and how we can use the axis in XPath and something like that. So if you are not good at XPath, then it would be difficult. Like, nobody want you to use inbuilt you can say inbuilt method or inbuilt CSS selector or something like that, or crow path to get the XPath, or you need to right click and get the XPath, something like this, copy and copy XPath. Nobody want that. Everybody want you to get write the XPath in the interview. But after joining, you can use anything, but that should be the relevant, not the arbitrary any XPath that you can find or use that. So the next question is, I asked him about how you can, this is, suppose this is the structure of the HTML. This is the part, that is available in HTML. So ask him what is the, P tag stands for. So basically the P tag stands for paragraph, and BR for breaking, and there are some other tags that you can, if you are working, or if you know how to work in automation, how to find the expert, how to write the locator, then you know, each and every tag. You must be facing, or you must be checking that these tags are coming in between when you are trying to get the XPath. So I ask him how to get this text only. This is Java. How to get this text only. So if you, writing some something like driver dot find element and by dot tag name, and you will use uh, p tag, then what it will do, it will give you the whole text. The complete this, this, and this. But I want only this. But if you use br instead of this p, let me write it again. If you write br instead of this p, then you will get this only. But what we want is this text only. So how you'll do that? Then obviously you need to use something, some Java in that. First get the text like this and replace this text with blank, then you will get this. It means to say ki when I am saving, suppose I got this, okay, and I'll save this in a string. String s1 equal to this, and from by using dir I got this string s2 equal to this. You can use s1 dot replace something. I mean, there are multiple things. Place this s2 with, or this with blank. There are multiple ways that you can, I mean, you can use the length of this, and after getting the length, I mean, you can get the length of this. Suppose the length is 17 and the total length is 30. The actual length of this should be 12, 13. Then first of all, get the complete length. Suppose this is 30, this length is 17. You need to get 13 minus 17, it means it's 13. This you can use indexing, like, I mean, start from the, I mean, you can use string dot substring, start from the 13th or 14th till 30th, and you'll get your string, or 0 to 13, something like this. You can use that. So this is all about that interview. I mean, as I am taking more interview, so if you want to give like mock interview, I mean, just ping on the comment section that you are interested in giving modern mock interview, and we will have a session. And yeah, so this is all about it. If you like this video, just subscribe the channel and like the video. Thank you for watching.